Today on Kicks Chronicles, we chat life and kicks with the dynamic duo themselves, Jack and Max from the FIRMED Fridays podcast. We get into the kicks that they loved growing up, way up in the cold north of England. We chat about their respective collections in the EST of KIC, and we also talk about what we feel is the most important element of any shoe, the story behind it. We actually talk about how some of our most prized pairs aren't the ones that actually have the highest resale value, but shoes with stories that stand the test of time. This is Kicks Chronicles. Yes, my people, big PROZECH back again, and you already know what it is, sneakers, kicks, and preps. Episode 90 of your sneaker and lifestyle podcast, Kicks Chronicles. I'm your boy PROZECH. Welcome. First and foremost, thank you for everybody that managed to catch our last episode with Safia Hart. Shout out to Big Saf doing her thing. Really appreciate her coming on, and everyone that managed to watch/listen. I appreciate you also. This week, our guests, plural, because it's not just one, it's two. You get me? I said it, the dynamic duo. Double trouble. We've got Jack and we've got Max from FIRMED Fridays. Some might know them as FIRMED UK, depending on what platform. All you need to recognize is that they're the guys. They're our esteemed guests, our illustrious guests, and they are the ones that we'll be speaking to about their life in kicks today on the episode. Absolutely loved this conversation, and it's actually part one of a two-part conversation I have with the lads. Very cool guys, and we get into everything once again. Life in kicks. They're from way up north of England, the cold north of England. You get me? We get into that, the kicks that they saw growing up, the kicks that they fell in love with. We also talk about the EST of KIC, and we kind of go off on a little bit of a wrestling tangent as well, because that's kind of where that name comes from. And we start talking about a few of those little bits as well, but we delve deeper into their respective collections. We also, like I said at the top of the show, talk about what we think is the most important part of any shoe, which is the story behind the shoe, the origins of the shoe. These are the things that give the shoe its infamy, give the shoe its interest, give the shoe its distinction among a plethora of thousands and thousands of other shoes. Why does that one particular shoe stand out? It's because of a story. And sometimes those stories don't just come from the brand. Some of those stories we create ourselves when it comes to how we cop the shoe, or how we got the shoe, or how we were given the shoe, or whatever it is, the aspirations of thinking about the shoe and what we're going to do in terms of fits. All of those things play into the story behind the shoe. Really important, and I loved having that conversation. Next week in part two, we'll be getting deeper into their collections. We'll be talking more about the culture at large, but I think I also challenged them to a sneaker battle. So if you like the sneaker battles, and everyone that's been voting in the sneaker battles, thank you very much. We definitely have a sneaker battle, and I will ask them what two pairs of kicks they will take with them if they were stranded on a desert island. So we will find that out next week. Absolutely love this podcast. Really sweet in the interview. They actually tell me that back in the day they used to do a little bit of reselling, and there was a time where they were trying to buy some Yeezys from the Adidas confirmed app, and they searched online to try and find a guide on how to best work that system, and lo and behold, they actually found my video on how to cop on sneakers in 2021. And we speak about that. I had no idea that was the case, but it was so cool to actually realize that a video that you did years and years ago actually helped someone. I mean, you see the views and whatever, but to actually get the chance to come full circle and speak to somebody on the level, both podcasters and everyone's doing their thing, and realize that, it actually helped me out a little bit in copying some kicks. Really cool moment, man. So yeah, wholesome, get me, heartfelt, lovely times, lovely stuff. The boys are absolute gents, and as I said, this is only part one. Part two next week. And yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy the podcast. So yeah, once again, I'm your boy PROZECH. This is Kicks Chronicles, and this week our guests are Jack and Max from FIRMED Fridays podcast. Enjoy. Yes, my people. Big PROZECH back again, and you already know what it is, man. Kicks Chronicles. And this week, I've got that double trouble rolling. You get me? The dynamic duo. I've got more than one illustrious guest. You get me? I'm talking to Max. I'm talking to Jack from Firm Fridays. Firm Fridays podcast are in the building. What you saying, boys?
Bro, we made it. We're here.
We did it, man. Finally. We got it together.
Before we start, we're matching today.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, man. Big up cause, man. You get me? Yeah. Big up cause.
No planning.
Yeah. No, at all, man. Bro, yeah, Max, you didn't get the memo?
No, I'm plain and simple, mate. Just blank t-shirt.
To be fair, yeah, you're pretty plain Jane when it comes to the old. Yeah. I'm saying, like, but I like that. That's a clean aesthetic. That's a cool vibe, and especially in a streetwear environment that's heavily focused on graphics and logos. You get me? It's nice to have someone just keeping it clean and classy, you know.
You're quite unique with it as well, I think, because I don't really go for flashy colours. I don't really go for like logos and stuff. I usually go for colours. I love flashy colours. Whereas you you're kind of muted. You like your earth tones. Things like that.
I love that, mate. Yeah, we're kind of like yin and yang, though, innit?
A little bit.
We've said that a few times, but you know, polar opposites.
It's a vibe because without a shadow of a doubt, Jack, you've got a little bit of the pizzazz about you. You know, you got the ginger mustache going on, a few tats. You get me? I'm saying, like, hair's a little longer now. I'm saying, like, maybe some of that rejuvenator money's coming in. I don't know. You get me? Max is calm, Max is chill. You get me? Like, he looks like Clark Kent. He looks like the guy that does the accounts. You get me?
You know what? That is exactly it as well. I'm the one. Like, when we started doing this, like, so I studied media a little bit in like college and this and the other, so I know how to do all the weird little creative stuff and like all the logos you see, I usually design.
Yeah.
And basically the process behind that thinking is like, I say to Max, "Do you think we can do this?" He goes, "No," and I go, "Aw."
Yeah. That's a good one. That's pretty much it.
So, we need that. We need that. We need the balance, man. We need the balance. Man. It's definitely a vibe, man. But yeah, guys, we need to take this right back to the beginning. The people want to know. You get me? And if anybody's watching this that hasn't listened to Firm Fridays, they may not be aware of your guys, your story, your origin story, you know. So yeah, please let the people know, was there a first love? Was there a first brand, a first sneaker, a silhouette that really got you guys to fall in love with kicks?
Yeah. You know what? Before, I think we've both got our individual stories on this, but before I let you tell yours, I really like talking about this because me and Max have known each other since we were like 3 or 4 years old. 3 or 4, yeah. So like from when we were babies, man, right? So we, in terms of getting into like streetwear, sneakers, things like that, we both have different entry points, but we hit the same spot kind of thing. I mean, for me, I was when I was younger, I was a lot into like skate culture, things like that. I was never any good at skating, mate. I'll be completely honest. Like I tried so many times, but that was like that was like my entry point with like skate brands, like just stuff like Etnies and do you know what I mean? DC, things like that, right? So I really like chunk skate, just like things like that. And then that kind of brought me to Supreme, which I imagine is the cross section for both of us.
That's where we meet, innit? Really?
Yeah. So I mean, what's your entry point into it? Because you were more about the sports side, weren't you?
Right. So it must have been like when the Ultra Boost was going crazy, Kanye West, all like the life.
I love it.
Yeah. And then you got like YouTubers like Kais Omar. Do you know? Have you heard of Kais? Yeah.
Of course, man. Legend.
Yeah. My mate were watching him, and then I was like, "Oh man, this is so cool! All these shoes are crazy." And then that's like that must have been between like 2014 and 2016, something like that. like when
Mm-mm.
Box crazy and stuff. But yeah, Adidas Ultra Boost and like Kanye West.
But like I say, the cross section that we kind of meet in between the skate culture and I guess like maybe we say hype beast or even just
that's the era,
right? And we hit that cross point of Supreme, I think, where it was like, okay, there's people from the skate side of things, there's people from the maybe the high end side of things. You know, everyone kind of culminated with this one brand. Which, by the way, like we never had any Supreme when we were like 15, 16 at all.
Well,
like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? We had nothing. Like, and we didn't need anything just to believe in it and go crazy for it.
Yeah.
In terms of first love, the first Supreme item I ever owned was a pair of SB Blazer lows. So they were like a tan, like a sandy suede colour.
Mate.
And I was in love with them.
I remember.
Yeah.
You gave them to Adam, our mate.
I think I bought them off it.
Oh, you bought them off him, that's it.
And they had a red sole. Yeah, they were second hand, bro. Like,
yeah, crazy.
Love that.
They had a red sole, and mate, I wore them into the ground. I was walking barefoot, like by the time they retired.
Yeah.
That's that's a deep cut as well, because the Blazers for Supreme don't get a lot of love or mentions in terms of their collaborations, because obviously like we're recording this early on in May. They've just dropped the Darwins, so they do have and they look good as well. The Darwins look good. They do have previous for sort of touching the more not necessarily the most high profile silhouettes from Nike. When they do the collaborations, they will have sort of like the Air Force Ones and other things that are more high profile, but the Blazers aren't as high profile, but they do have previous in sort of touching those kind of silhouettes. The Blazer Low is not a high profile silhouette, but I feel like, because I think it was 3 colors in that pack, right? And I think I think there was like a green color, and I think was there a pink or something like that? I can't remember exactly. I know there was a brown and a green, and I can't remember the last one. But very, very cool shoes. Very cool shoes. Definitely a vibe, man. So yeah, Max, what are you saying? What was the shoe that probably got you into the game?
The shoe, I kind of already mentioned it, but it was the Ultra Boost.
Oh, absolutely, bro. When you said Ultra Boost, by the way, I always have Ultra Boost like right near me. Like they're like, I'm completely on your team when it comes to the Ultra Boost. Like they're literally always here. Like I bought these. I bought these in like an outlet village. I think they were like £30. Unbelievable. I don't even know if I've worn them. Like I think I've worn them once maybe. Like you just can't pass it up when you're seeing. Yeah, you can't pass up that kind of deal when it's an Ultra Boost. Ultra Boost were for me Yeezys before Yeezys. That was the shoe that really introduced the idea that you could have a really comfortable yet a really sort of trendy and cool looking shoe all at the same time. Sort of that whole thing, athleisure, that you could take it from the gym or whatever physical activity you were doing all the way through to sort of just going out and just chilling or whatever. So yeah, massive fan of the Ultra Boost. Definitely a vibe, man. Yeah, that whole period, that sort of hype beast period was definitely had a lot of crazy kicks in there. It was a very, very cool time, man.
Yeah, everyone wearing the Ultra Boost with like them like tracksuit with the tracksuit bottoms with the really long drawstrings. Do you know what I mean? Like the Jerry Lorenzo. That's crazy. That was everyone was like taking pictures like that. That's like that's it. that's the moment, you know.
Mate, that was that era, the hype beast era. If we were to look back at that era and actually look at some of the photos that represented that period in time, there were some definite like fashion choices that were made that probably in hindsight probably weren't the best. But it was definitely, I mean, just putting it lightly, but in the time, it was a vibe. It was definitely a vibe. Yeah. It was definitely, like, I wouldn't call myself a hype beast by any stretch of the imagination. But I mean, just as an observer, it was sick. It was sick, man. It was sick. Supreme definitely reigned supreme. Yeah, literally.
I think it's really
pun
interesting.
Intended.
Well, because for one, we're outside of London, right? So we live in North Yorkshire, so we're quite removed from the epicenter of it, right? But also, like, we didn't really have a lot of money to get that kind of stuff, right? Like, we were kids, you know what I mean? We were like 15, 16. Yeah, we just didn't have the resource to get it. So, like, our whole hypebeast culture is as an observer, and maybe trying to recreate that with cheaper brands and things like that.
Yeah.
So
that's a very interesting point. I mean, like, give us some perspective. Like, first of all, you touched on where you were from. So shout out to all the men from North Yorkshire. You get me? I need to come up there and really sort of get, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need like some Yorkshire pudding or something. I don't know what.
Yeah.
You know nothing about Yorkshire.
It's terrible. It's terrible. It's terrible. But definitely, like, let me know, like, what did you see? What was popular on people's feet? What did you see growing up?
I mean, you're probably better at talking about this, but a lot of it was sportswear.
Yeah,
there's a lot of sportswear. There's a lot of like county teams for like football, cricket, this and the other. So you're probably better at that.
Oh, mate. So what was I seeing? One of my mates, we've already mentioned him about the Blazers. He had, I mean, everyone wasn't wearing these, but he had some Supreme Air Max 98s, the red ones. You know, they did the pack of like the snake. It was the reds, and then there was like a navy one, wasn't there?
Yeah.
He had the
Air Max 98 is so sick as well. I love that silhouette, bro. Yeah.
I remember people at school having like Jordan 6 infrareds. So I saw a pair of them.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Jordan 6 infrareds. Trust me.
Wow.
Oh, do I name the guy?
No,
I won't name the guy. No, Jordan 6 infrared. I'm trying to think. What else was there?
I'm not trying to put people on clout. This is my moment.
No, honestly.
For real. This is your time. Your time.
Oh, man. What else was I seeing?
So what I remember mainly, like, it was a time where people were like black skinny jeans rolled up at the bottom, white socks, or like skinny trackies.
Yeah.
Like Adidas joggers, things like that.
Yeah.
In terms of shoes wise, it was a lot of Air Max, but not like ones. It was more like 98s, 90, maybe not even 95s, like 90s even.
It was like 90s, 98s, 97, stuff like that.
Which I'd say at the time I viewed them as like the ones you could get in JD, right? And like, because I came from like the skate culture, my head was programmed to just be morally against JD. So I never, like, never really,
I get it.
You know,
I get it.
I never went there until maybe like the last few years, where I've started to really open my mind to like Air Maxes and stuff like that. Man, I love Air Maxes now, man.
Yeah. I'm trying to think back to all the non-uniform days and stuff. And like, what were people wearing? Like, yeah, there's a lot of like Palace and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, I tell you what, I remember like first seeing Palace like Tri-Ferg tees.
Yeah.
They just sprung out of nowhere, and like. The worst part was having to ask people what brands they were wearing, like during that hype time. Like, I'd never heard of Palace. We're in the middle of nowhere, like in terms of where fashion is, right? And then someone would be wearing like a Palace tee, or even like early days of Supreme. Like, it was recognizable, but you didn't know what it was.
Yeah.
So you had to ask, like,
what's that big thing on your back?
What brand is that? What's that big triangle on your band?
Yeah.
No, I feel like getting your perspective on these things is really, really important, because I grew up in London. I've been in London most of my life. I've moved out since, but like, that's the mentality I have, and everything's essentially on your doorstep. And to be honest, even for me, because I'm a little bit older, like, I saw that period come. I'll put it. So let me give you some perspective. I got married in 2014, right? So the hype beast era, right, doesn't really align with a married man of 3 years or 2 years, right? So I've got responsibility, boom, boom, boom. So this is happening in a time where I'm observing, but I'm not really in it. In it. It was a few years before I fully came back into it, because I needed to find a strategy that wasn't gonna sort of kill off my bank balance because the money was mad, especially in resale. That was the height of the resale culture. That's where it sort of like just exploded, sort of thing. So yeah, getting you guys' perspective is really, really cool, man, because it helps you to understand and put things in context. Because at that time, yeah, you're seeing Palace, you're seeing Supreme, you get me, you're seeing probably antisocial social club or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm saying, Thrasher tees, you get me? Yeah, Thrasher. Like there was loads of stuff. I remember like just seeing all these things in my mind when you're talking about it, and I was like, yeah, that was definitely an interesting time. But I was similar to yourself. I was just observing. I was just looking. You get me? I picked up my first box logo probably 2 years ago.
Me too.
You get me? Yeah. Honestly, like the only thing that was different slightly about what I was is before I got married and when I was a bit younger, I went quite heavy into Bape and BBC and stuff. So I had a load of Bape and stuff prior to that. I did end up selling a bit of my collection, but I did have a load. I've still got loads of stuff from like 2007. You get me? Like I've got stuff from like really, really early. But yeah, I didn't tap into sort of Palace Supreme until really recently, man. So yeah, I'm with you on that, man. I'm with you on that.
Before we move on from that, I just want to say I fortunately was one of the people who, as I say, coming from skate culture, hated everyone wearing Thrasher tees.
Yeah.
For real, yeah, because I mean, it was a little bit of I was saying of a Mickey, like, because honestly, like, we didn't even know what the magazine was. A lot of people didn't know what it was. Yeah, we didn't know what it was about. We just see a cool thing and just get involved. Yeah.
I was trying to early gatekeep Thrasher and I couldn't do a kickflip.
It's like, it's so interesting, man, because it's like we start. I don't know whether it's the culture or just human nature, but like at a certain point, I think maybe it was also when you're quite young as well. Like at a certain point when you realize, okay, I get a lot of perceived clout, or I get a lot of good energy when I wear this particular brand or I look this particular way, and I get less of that when more people are wearing it. You get me? So you start figuring out, maybe I don't tell them where I get my stuff, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then how do you find out how you get your stuff? Like, so I had to do loads and loads of stuff on the internet, man. If I wasn't on the internet, I think like it was either internet, it was YouTube, and I don't even know if it was Instagram at that point. It might have been Facebook. Just trying to, I was just trying to understand sort of what was going on, man. But definitely interesting. I'm glad to get that perspective from up north. In terms of like, because this is something I always ask.
Yeah.
And I've asked different people from up north, and I've got various different answers. So I'm very interested to see your perspective. Have you heard of an unholy grail?
I've heard of an unholy grail. I've been aware of the unholy grail.
Yeah. So I mean, there's probably like a few people watching that have never seen or heard it before. An unholy grail is essentially an off-brand shoe, not necessarily a fake shoe. They're 100% legitimate in their own right. They're just a little wrong, a little bit, not totally, just a little bit. So you're talking about your Everlast, your Lonsdales, Mercury's, Avius, Tracks, Adores, Golas, High-Techs, that sort of stuff. Did you ever get involved? Did you ever partake in the dark arts?
At some point, you have to do, right? Come on, it's only right.
It's only right.
Yeah.
You can only know how to stay away from the darkness once it's engulfed.
Yeah, you've got to embrace it. You've got to embrace
This is it. This is Batman, isn't it? You have to embrace the darkness.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
It's Lonsdale. I think there must have been like some. This is primary school. There must have been some slip-on black Lonsdales or some sort of like brown gold sort of like detailing it. Other than that, it was just all black slip-on. I think it was slip-on, but I remember them.
It's a nasty way to go.
Yeah, it's Lonsdale.
Yeah, that's naughty. That's naughty. Lonsdale are a massive contributor to the unholiness of these girls. Like, they're one of the biggest. Lonsdale, I mean, in a legitimate boxing brand with a huge amount of heritage, obviously sponsored Muhammad Ali. I mean, they're a huge brand globally, but every single shoe they make is an unholy grail.
The Lonsdale shoe, and like when you say the Lonsdale shoe, everyone knows what you're on about. Like, it's that flat top. Like, they remind me of those dogs with the big flat heads, and like it makes me uncomfortable every single time I think about them.
You don't make dogs dirty there.
What are they called?
Oh mate, yeah, I know.
They
What you mean?
Unreal. What's mine?
Yeah, man.
My unholy grail.
Yeah, come on.
I think it's a brand as a whole is my unholy grail, because like, and it's No Fear.
Wow, no, deep cut. Love that. Love No Fear. They do not. That is the first time No Fear has been mentioned on this podcast, and it's about time. It's about time. It's about damn time.
So there was only it's about time. There's only one like trainer shop in our like town, right? And it was a JJB. It's a JJB Sports.
Yeah.
And like the selection in there is like, it's No Fear. What's some of it? Everlast, like Lonsdale, you know. And then there's one that I can't stand, and it's on the same wavelength as No Fear, but Tap Out.
Ooh.
Tap Out for the MMA junkie, for the MMA lads.
I hate Tap Out.
Tap Out.
And
oh my days!
Like, back. And
he did. But yeah, Tap Out is wild.
Tap
Out is literally stay out, man. Tap Out is wild. Tap Out is such a deep cut. I love Tap Out because I love all combat sports, right? And I've been watching UFC for probably I want to say maybe 15 years. I've been watching them. We've been watching them for ages, and Tap Out were heavy. Even Tap Out at a point they actually sponsored the WWE at a point. They've had their time. Tap Out had their moment. They definitely did their thing.
In Tap Out for a long time.
A long time. You get me, man? They definitely did their thing, man. But yeah, firmly within that JJB Sports Direct family right about now. Respectfully. Yeah. Right. Without a doubt, man. You're definitely right. The thing is, do you know what's interesting? At probably in 5 to 10 years, there's gonna be a load of Tap Out vintage tees and stuff. I reckon it will come back round.
Yeah, I reckon
it will come back. You never know, man. But yeah, man. I mean, the thing is, I feel like a lot of things in terms of the whole thing of that cyclical nature of fashion, it always does come down to, in my opinion, the quality of the clothing, because you can't have a vintage tee if they all sort of combust and tear away, and also how if the brand sticks around, and also if the brand sort of maintains their ethos. So we'll wait to see with brands like Tap Out and No Fear. No Fear, I love that. I love No Fear. You get me? But guys, you guys have been amazing so far. This has been decent. But we need to get into the EST of KIC. And the EST of KIC is essentially where we kind of look at your collection. It's the EST, meaning the oldest, the newest, the rarest, the greatest, the best, right? So I mean, if I was to ask you guys, what's the newest shoe you have in your collections, respectively?
I'll go for mine first, because I've got mine literally right here, and it's something I'm talking to death about on FIRMED Fridays. We did a full unboxing of it when I got it, and to be honest, with FIRMED Fridays, a lot of the pairs we buy to review, so they're not all personals, right? Whereas this one, this is a personal. It's the Adidas Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah. I heard you talk about this. Yeah, you absolutely love it. To be honest, a lot of people are feeling these. A lot of people are feeling these. Yeah.
So
Not heard much badness about these.
No, growing up, I was like a proper like comic book kid, and like I still love cartoons. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I still love wrestling and stuff like that. Just all the stuff I used to love as a kid.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. Bro. There's a line here. I can't remember exactly what it is, but I can't remember the song. But Kanye was like, "I will never grow up. I'm a grown ass kid."
Yeah, man.
I should be locked up for stupid things that I did. Right, and maybe not that last part, but yeah, the first bit definitely.
But that's the thing, like, the only thing that's changed really between stuff I liked as a kid and the stuff I like now is now I can afford to buy the stupid stuff.
This is it, man.
Like, so up here, so sorry, we're not going to go too crazy into it, but up here I've got Rey Mysterio's like second action figure ever. And it's just a little
That's
set
amazing.
piece, really, to me. This is just stuff I had before we built a set. Yeah. Now it's just an excuse to use it.
That's so sick. Shout out to Ray, man. 619 and that.
Back to these. For anyone who doesn't know, I'll just explain a tiny bit about them. They came with, obviously, it's packaged like an action figure, but inside this piece, there's a reprint of the first comic book, which I haven't opened, and I don't want to open, to be honest. I have no intention of selling them, but I really like them as just a display piece. And one thing we talk about a lot, really, on like Firm Fridays, and it is like the story behind unboxing shoes. Because we unbox so many, like sometimes it's hard to shock us. Yeah, because we're doing like, how many are we doing a week at the minute?
Oh, what unboxings? I mean,
yeah.
On the next one. Oh no, I don't know. We've got another episode in the pipeline just because. Yeah, we've got so many, like 5-6 shoes at a time, and we've got to like, what are we going to do? You know?
Yeah. So sometimes it's hard to just like impress us. But when I saw those, I was like, I need them. Like I went into Size and got the guy to show me them like a week before they came out.
Yeah,
love that.
We got the Size in Leeds, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Size in Leeds. The thing with like, we say we're surprised by these Adidas collaborations, but when they do stuff that's kind of like quite niche to a brand, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles stuff, it's all like super personal. We talked about that. They've done like stuff with Yu-Gi-Oh, the anime card game, in the past, and like all the it's like they've just got a division of people who are really interested in this thing working for Adidas.
Weirdly enough, we've got another one right behind us, which I wanted to talk about. So the last pair that was bought for me is these are Dr. Doom Stan Smiths.
Come on.
Yeah, man. So I'll just show them real quick because I actually wear them a lot, so they're a little bit dusty. But so instead of Stan Smith, it says Dr. Doom on the side.
Come on.
We've got Doom on the tongue.
Yeah, that's a cool tongue.
Yeah, so like anyone would think they're just standard Stan Smiths, and then you look a bit deeper, and there's Victor Von Doom on there.
Yeah,
that's very cool.
Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right in terms of like Adidas's attention to detail when it comes to collaborations. They definitely do a lot. You are absolutely right. I think the word you were referring to, because you were like, maybe they have a department. They've just got a bunch of nerds, right? They've got a bunch of nerds that are probably around, are probably similar ages, like between mine and yours, and they just were around during that era and just love the fact that they're collaborating with a brand like Adidas, and they can actually sort of bring to life some of these things that we know, because we're in a massive nostalgia era that are just gonna fly. It's absolutely vibes. Like obviously Nike did it with the Powerpuff Girls. Obviously it's not as deep as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it just touches something in a lot of people. You get me? Like, and it just makes people just like feel like kids again, and that feeling when other things are going wrong is a very, very sort of valuable feeling to generate in people. So it's very smart movements.
Yeah. Sorry that we went off on an Adidas collaboration tangent.
Yeah,
that's absolutely fine, bro. I'm with you on that. The thing is, the thing. I mean, with regards to this podcast and just me in general, bro, I'm on your team, bro. You get me? I'm ready to ride. I'm ready to ride. Pause. Like nothing crazy, but just I'm ready to go where you're going. in terms of the podcast, because ultimately, this is you. I mean, in this particular scenario, this is your collective sneaker journey that we're talking about, and and it's all valid and it's enjoyable. And the thing is, if we don't go on these tangents, I don't get to chat about No Fear or Tap Out. You get me? These are things that don't come up in my normal day-to-day life, bro, and they need to be coming up. It needs to happen more. I need to talk about Tap Out more. You get me? You get me, man. You know how many UFC press conferences and pay-per-views I've watched in my life? I've watched like hundreds of them. And Tap Out was everywhere. TOOTs in Tap Out. Chuck Liddell in Tap Out. Apart from Brock Lesnar as well. Like, yeah, man. Yeah. It's vibes. It's vibes. But yeah, jumping back into the EST of KIC. In fact, you're a wrestling guy. Do you know where I got that from, right?
Yeah. Is it Bianca Belair?
It's Bianca Belair because she is the EST of WWE. As she used to be the EST of NXT, but then she moved to WWE and it changed.
Mate, you know about NXT.
Bro,
became bigger friends.
If it was even possible, right? If it was even possible, like, man, yeah, I feel like, yeah, without a doubt, like, I don't know whether it's just the era that I grew up in, man. I was there for the Attitude era, and the sort of ruthless aggression era, and like, yeah, I was there at a good time. You get me? And obviously things fell off, but I feel like they're in a little bit of a resurgence now. But it's actually interesting. So, what were you going to say?
Yeah, so I was just going to say, actually, I was a wrestling fan before I was like a trainer fan, a sneaker fan, things like that, right? And now I look back, and mate, you seen the heat that Shane McMahon used to wear?
Bro,
not even...
Bro, it's not just him, bro. There was some deeper guys in the WWE. There was some deeper guys. There's been deeper guys. Like, I mean, the obvious ones. Like, I mean, yeah, Shane McMahon has always been laced from early. Like, if you haven't seen Shane McMahon's sneaker shopping, make sure to go check that out. Yeah, but he's not the only one. Like the New Day, but not all members of the New Day, because people will think like, no, it's Kofi. Kofi is the one. Kofi is he's the sneakerhead, bro. Kofi is the guy.
A collaboration. I don't know if it was Reebok or Puma.
It was Puma. Yeah, because they had like a WWE Puma collaboration. I think Ric Flair had one. I think Hulk Hogan had one. Maybe the Ultimate Warrior. No, there was a Randy Savage had one as well. Macho Man. But yeah, there's been some. This is deep, right? What I'm about to tell you. This is deep.
Yeah.
Right. This is deep. Do you know for years The Miz wrestled in Prada American Cups?
No, he didn't.
For years.
Really?
Bro, for years. Nobody talks about this.
No.
Respect. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about it, right? And I've been waiting for ages to say something about this. Like, the Miz wrestled in Prada American Cups for years. Like, probably in the last 3 years he changed. But
does he keep them low, or does he put like big shin pads on them and stuff?
No, he had the shin pads on them. They're
underneath like
people. But the thing is, if you go back, because he used to wrestle a lot in black, right? If you go back and you look at his feet, you can see that little red tab that's under the back of the heel. You can see it. And you can see some of because I think he used to use Peyton Blacks.
Yeah.
Right? The Peyton Black ones. So you can see it. And I was just like, bro, how comes nobody's mentioning? I haven't read one article. I haven't read one story. He's not done one sneaker shopping episode. Like, bro, for you to wrestle in American Cups, I had a pair of American Cups. Right? American Cups, it's not like they're uncomfortable, but they're not wrestling kicks. They're definitely not boots. Like, so, but he must have just found comfort in them or whatever. And yeah, man, I just flew off on my tangent. You get me? I'm there as well.
It's a really, like, it's nice to see people who have those cross interests. So I really like independent wrestling and stuff as well. So stuff like the Young Bucks have been wearing Jordans for years, and
Oh, they've been going mad. They've been going mad, yeah, massively.
They got AEW. I don't know if you saw it, Mick, 'cause you're a little bit outside that circle, but they essentially put a load of thumbtacks on the bottom of a Dior Jordan 1.
Oh my days, these guys are wild.
And they hit someone in the head with it. Or they super kicked someone with it. I can't remember.
Yeah, definitely a super. Didn't they put explosives on the bottom of some?
I think so
as well.
Yeah, maybe I can't. They did loads, but like there's an Instagram page I follow. I think it's called like Wrestling with Trainers or something like that, or Wrestling in Sneakers.
You're gonna have to put me on that, bro. Yeah, put me onto that.
Because Cody Rhodes wore those. You really like them. Are they the Craft Jordan 3s that came out recently?
Yeah.
I
was like, who's going to win? But yeah,
the son of Dusty Rhodes. The son of Dusty Rhodes. No, you don't even know.
Yeah.
Oh man, come on, bro. It's gotta be better than that, man. But yeah, man, wrestling and kicks definitely intertwined, man. And yeah, I don't know, like, yeah, I suppose it just came from the name. And when I was because Bianca Belair she's definitely not a sneakerhead from what I can see. But like, I was looking for a name that kind of made sense, and at the time, yeah, I was watching a lot of WWE. It just kind of stuck in my head, man. But yeah, kind of winging our way to the next bit. I asked you about the sort of like newest, I think. What is the oldest shoe that you have in your collection that you can remember?
I'll let you take this one, and then I'll say mine, because I've got a recent pair which I quite
right. The oldest, it's nice and simple, and it's an all black Air Max 95.
Nice.
I think I picked them up. I think it was 2021. That's the oldest shoe now. I actually binned my Air Force Ones because they just had holes in the bottom of them.
The Rockefeller ones, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I had them, but they've long gone now because they're just like,
wow. That's it.
But the Rockefeller ones though, I bought them off Depop. I don't know how many fakes of them there were. Like, aren't they like super crazy?
I don't know though, because you got them quite early on. Like, you had them since like, I don't know what year they came out, but maybe 2017.
Was it college?
Like 2017, 18, something like that.
Yeah. But actually, in my collection, all black Air Max 95s. They're like tanks. I
remember the oldest pair you maybe did have, and it was kind of before we were really into sneakers. You had the Jordan 4 Royal.
Oh yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Wow.
Black with the
gold wings.
I remember the picture that I took of them on Depop when I sold them, because I don't know. I feel I liked looking at them, but I think going around college and people were like looking at me with gold on my shoe, I was like, are they thinking like I'm a or something? Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to swear.
It's okay.
Like, I maybe got pressured, maybe not pressured, like people telling me like get rid of them. Like, I just from inside out, gold on my shoe. Maybe not, but that was crazy. That was a time. Oh man.
Yeah, those Jordans.
Fair enough, man.
They're going for quite a lot now. The Royals, like brand new, must be like 400 quid on StockX.
Yeah,
but
that's a decent shoe, and I get where you're coming from, because I remember when I got my first pair of Jordans, it wasn't during the time when it was a little bit before Jordan became what it is now, and there was a little, it wasn't stigma, but it wasn't as commonplace to see. Right, so so you could see eyes on your shoes, and mine weren't even like amazing. I think I got this. I think they were called the Son of Mars. So they were a little bit like a Jordan 4, but like I didn't know this at the time because I was just sort of getting into Jordans. Like the Son of Mars was essentially like almost like a Spizak. It takes little bits of different what's the name, but it had a bit of like white cement on it, and predominantly it looked more like a Jordan 4, right, in terms of how it looked. And yeah, man, I got some looks. I ended up selling them. For a lot less than I paid for them, but I felt a little bit like that as well. But then a few years later, I'm saying like when it becomes a little bit more socially acceptable, I jump back in the wave, man. So unfortunately, I'm not a trendsetter. You get me?
No,
Not a trendsetter like that.
Can't always get
You
them.
get me?
My
Yeah.
my old pair I bought recently are a pair of Air Force Ones. I think they're from 2008. I think, and they are they're called the South Bronx Chose.
Okay.
I don't know if you ever heard of them because
No.
I bought them on eBay because they're like bright yellow, and I couldn't find anything about them for ages. Like for so long, I was trying to research. Like sometimes you search up SKUs and you just can't find anything. And it turns out, I think it was in 2008. The date might be wrong. That there's a local basketball team in New York called I think it's the South Bronx Gauchos. They released a pack in the colours of those teams. So the ladies' team is called the South Bronx Chose, and that's what the yellow is.
Snap.
Yeah, man. But I got them on eBay for like 20 quid, and I was like, yeah, we'll go for it for 20 quid. Like they're really nice.
Come on, man.
And it was one of those, and you'll know if you buy, because I buy a lot of used pairs. Like for personals that I wear, I buy a lot of used pairs. And you'll know, right? I've got some little eBay tricks. You know, like searching up trainers instead of sneakers.
Yeah.
Searching up like red tick instead of, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know how you do it, man.
Mate, I'm locked in. It's a science for me, bro. Like,
bro. Oh, I'm here for this.
yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I love it. I love it,
I'm
bro.
not the only one to do this, by the way, but like once I realized, like I'm trying to buy them off people's mums, like who are clearing out the attic. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not trying to buy them off sneakerheads.
Bro, this guy is fully locked in. Bro, I remember, was it like 2018 or 2019? I was working, I worked in finance for a long time, but my operational manager, right, was a eBay guru. He was an eBay guru. I'm not joking. He used to do training sessions. This is the levels. He used to have a side hustle where people would like follow him on Facebook or whatever, and he would invite them down to do training on how to buy and sell on eBay. He was a guru, bro. That's not what I call him. That's what he called himself.
Yeah.
Bro, and he was, bro, everything that you said, bro, he was telling me. He was like, when you're buying things on eBay, you have to remember that you're not necessarily buying from somebody like yourself. You're not necessarily buying from somebody that knows a lot about what they're selling, right? If you really want to get the best deals on eBay, you need to misspell Jordan. You need to misspell Adidas. You know what I'm saying? Like add an extra D, take a D away. I'm saying like you need to do these little things because the people that are putting on are just trying to get rid of stuff and they don't realize what they have.
Yeah.
You get me? Like, bro.
I literally did it about 2 days ago.
You did?
On Vinted. I bought some like yellow and black Dunk highs, and the woman who listed them called them Nike yellow boots. Just yellow boots. And I was like, I'm in here.
Yeah.
12 quid. 12 quid. I'm a winner.
Oh, man.
What are you talking about? Dude, that's so sick. That is so good, man. Because, go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I buy a lot of used stuff. And I think mainly it comes from the fact that, like, I didn't really have a lot of money growing up to buy these things now. So still in my head, it hurts to spend money.
Yeah.
So, like, if I can pick up a pair of Dunks for, like, 12 quid, I'll get them and go, right, these are good enough to keep, or I'll clean them up, like, you know what I mean? Like, I bought some Palace Reeboks recently, cleaned them up. Like, I love doing it. Because one, I get a really good deal, but two, it's almost like a bit of a gamble.
Yeah,
like it's a bit of a dopamine hit, like whether they're going to be a mess or not.
Bro, I'm so with you, bro. Like I think I'm similar in the sense that like when I was growing up in my household, it was God, and then it was food and then education, or maybe food and education switched, right? So kicks are definitely not on the table.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
not something we discussed, not something that we're getting. You might get one pair of kicks a year, right? So in general, it just sort of built in me that sort of hustler mentality. And like, as soon as I can get money, I'm just going to make sure that I can get what I want. But yeah, I'm also fairly frugal, as well. And I love a deal, bro. I love deals. You get me? Like, so yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, everything that you're saying, bro, I'm 100% here for it. And yeah, I've only just caught the Vinted, bug. Like, cause I tried to sell on Vinted like 2 or 3 times, and every time I put something on there, it said that what I was selling was fake. And I was like, bro, I'm legit. Like, I'm the most legit guy.
It's just bought their verification in now, to be fair, which it makes it a lot sweeter. So I think you pay like the buyer pays a tenner to have their authenticators check them over.
Yeah.
Like I don't know which authenticators they use. I don't know if it's a similar service to eBay or anything like that. But like a lot of people getting caught out the same as you, like they were just getting called fake, and like the accounts getting banned, this, that, and the other.
I'd love to know where the shoes go to, like, because when you think of Vinted, it's not like as maybe legit as eBay.
eBay feels like an operation, doesn't it?
No, it's definitely an operation.
Where do they go with that? Like, who are we sending these to? Like,
exactly.
The thing is, what might surprise you is they may be using they might be subcontracting eBay, because I know eBay were using SneakerCon for a period as well. Like, so before they fully set up their own, because I remember when eBay authentication came in, it was in association with SneakerCon, and they were the ones that were doing the authentication. So I think now eBay have like a massive operation. I think it's in like Ricelip or somewhere like that, where they literally just authenticate. Yeah,
mate, we used to resell the amount of parcels we sent to Ricelip for like.
For real, man, send this stuff to Ricelip regularly.
The postcode like locked in. I'm not going to say it, but I think I'm going
to.
I don't know.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. No, honestly, yeah, man's been sending stuff to Ricelip ever since this authentication thing came in from eBay. Like, me and eBay have been so tight. And the thing is, I sold so much stuff on eBay that I just had to start buying stuff as well, because I'm like, this thing is so, and I'm hoping everyone's like me, because I'm like, so like this, the process is so smooth.
Oh, mate,
I'm sure people have been stung, but the thing is, like, I've never had any issues with any pairs that I've sent or pairs that I've bought, right? I did have a friend say that he did purchase a pair. It got to the authentication center, and they literally caught it, and they called him up, and they said, unfortunately, they literally just called him, and they said, yeah, we've had a look at the pair, and unfortunately, it's not real, so we'll be refunding you directly and sending these. I don't know whether they send it back to the seller, or they just bin them or whatever. But like their authentication service is by far and away the best that's on the market in terms of like customer service and smoothness and everything. Like, way better than like StockX or anything like that. So yeah,
I had eBay call me. I think it was probably back when we were reselling. We must have bought like a pair of Pandas for dirt cheap, and they were with the authentication service, and they failed the authentication, and they rung us up, and I had a proper conversation with the guy, and it was really nice. Really
it's nice, that, and I really like that.
You got that reassurance, you know.
With that as well, like, just going into the firmed law. If you've been with us for, if anyone's watched this and knows us or has been following us for a while, like, we were just it was a reselling page. That's all firmed was. Like, we just started buying pairs. It was on Sneakers Day 2022.
Mate, Sneakers Day.
We got there was a sneakers camp for the Canyon Purple Jordan 4s, and then
the taxi Jordan 1s.
Yes, the taxi Jordan 1s, the yellows. I remember it very well.
So I was sat in like my first flat, and I think you'd message me like, "Oh, just do this, just do this," and I was like, "All right." Like, but then there was like some Yeezy stuff happening at the same time,
right? Yeah, like Yeezy Day was, I think, a day or so before or something like that, and there was a massive Yeezy drop.
Yeah, there was a Yeezy Day, and this brings me on perfectly, right? So I when I saw all the Yeezys dropping, I was like, right, how do you cop on confirm? And one of the videos that came up, honestly, was this.
Don't say it, bro. Don't say it, bro.
This, honestly, and that's when, like, it must have been after the Yeezy day, and I was like, I want to be prepared for this more. So I watched your video, and this is crazy.
Wow.
I was waiting for you to mention it.
Yeah,
All right, because when was it? It was maybe when I can't remember if we first spoke at Kicks and Coffee, maybe the second one.
Yeah.
Spoke, right? And I think it was a week after that. Max was like,
"Oh mate, I can't."
Yeah, he was like, mate, like, I swear. So everyone needs to know that Big PROZECH is part of the inception of FIRMED.
Yeah,
Bro.
yes,
Bro, I knew I liked you guys for some reason, bro. I knew I loved you, man, for some reason. That is like, first and foremost, yeah, that's the first time that's ever happened in my life. Honestly. Honestly, I know people, like, obviously you see the numbers, you see what people like watch videos, right? And people will tell you they watch videos. That's the first time I've ever in an interview been speaking to someone and they say, by the way, like, around the time I started reselling, I was trying to do this or whatever, and I watched one of your videos, and I'm so happy that I hope it helped. Yeah, I hope it wasn't just clickbait.
the levels.
Like,
That's how I found out.
Bro, I remember that video. That video was one of my best videos because honestly, right, at that time, I couldn't understand how people weren't copying these Yeezys because like yourselves, right, and I've mentioned this on the pod before, when the way that I was able to re-enter into the sneaker culture was through reselling, right?
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to start the channel, right? And it's similar to yourselves. I was like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the shoe, do the content, resell the shoe, buy the next shoe, and just keep that sort of, right? And then obviously if I keep that all in its own ecosystem, it doesn't affect my missus when it comes to the bank account. So that's how I sort of spun it to her, and she was like, "That's fine, go ahead and do it." So that's essentially what I was. So I was reselling quite a lot early doors, and that's what helped me to start the channel. And then obviously everything I bought in, I did a video on, and then I started realizing because I'm buying so much stuff from Adidas, all of these points are sort of racking up. The points were just racking and racking and racking. Like, and it just got to the point where they were like, I think I was just like a level 4. And I was like, cool. And then these Yeezy started dropping. And I remember it might have been 2022. It might have been 2022. It was definitely either 2021 or 2022, right? Bro, they had one Yeezy day, and I think I like copped 6 pairs of Yeezys.
Yeah, crazy.
And I was like, nah, bro, I need to do a video on this because this is actually getting nuts. Like, because people were telling me, no, I only managed to get one, or I only managed to get this, or I only managed to get that. And I'm like, what is going on? So that's when I started, what's his name in it? And obviously I said in the video, like, I'm pretty sure I said in the video, people are not going to just be able to, like, buy and sell, like, on the level that I was. But I kind of did suggest, like reselling was probably a good way to get your numbers up. And if there is anything of value on the app, you should just buy it and then sell it on. And even if you just make your money back, at least to Adidas, you look like a valuable customer.
Yeah.
So I'm glad it actually helped, man. That is sick.
The FIRMED law, mate. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that, man.
Actually, like, one thing we had to come to terms with, right? So we were reselling for a year. I think we were reselling for
about a solid year.
Like, we've mentioned this briefly in other episodes of like FIRMED Fridays and stuff like that. Like, we got to the point where we were building a website to just be a reselling page, right? And then like maybe like a week before, we were like, you know what, like, this is hard. So I work in retail, for lack of a better word. Like, I work in like technology, stuff like that, whatever. And Max, you've got a fairly like heavy day job as well. Yeah. But you've probably got a bit more time on your hands. But we were just like, we're coming home from work to do more customer service.
Oh man, it was crazy.
So hard.
The business model was basically like, we have most popular shoes on the website, and we set the price at X, and then they buy it, and we have to source it as quick as we can.
It was nuts.
Like, because we watched another video of someone like laying out this business model that they use, and it's just how do you do that? Like you must be just on it all the time, like sourcing, and that's stressful because people flake as well. Like, if you're trying to like source a deal or something.
The best thing we ever did was just like transition to just doing, I guess we'll call it media side of things. Like making the podcast, like doing all the short form stuff. We're by the time this comes out, I don't know when this is coming out, mate, but we'll probably have or about to have an episode out where we're at Kicks and Coffee doing trading. So we've kind of just become YouTubers.
Yeah, that's
like which is kind of nuts.
Yeah,
because we grew up like in the YouTube era, right? Like where anyone who knows, who's maybe around our age, like there was a big UK YouTuber scene, which is where like the side men come from, like KSI, this, that, and the other. And we've kind of just fallen into the trap of becoming YouTubers, and all we wanted to do was like buy and sell shoes at one point.
It's cool.
No.
It's cool.
No, that's very cool. That's very cool. And there's nothing. I mean, I don't know if I've ever referred to myself as a YouTuber, but I think this is essentially what we all do, right? We're all putting our opinions and putting ourselves out there on the internet, trying to help as best we can, especially in terms of like kicks. Like it's a fairly hefty buying decision nowadays. A lot of these shoes are quite expensive. So if you can get a little bit of insight prior to making a purchase, it's always a good thing. And yeah, man, I think what you guys are doing is it. Like without a shadow of a doubt, like the reselling aspect of things. Like even myself now, I don't resell as much, just because of time. Like because I'm editing, like, and then working like so much, the ability to be able to, unless something's got like a really decent like profit margin, the ability to sort of do it at the level where it actually makes sense, especially in this current market where it is really like a buyer's market. It's not like the time where you're making sort of the like double your money on a panda. It's a story we'll tell our kids, bro. Like it's not a reality. It's just a weird.
Because we got to a point where we were like, right, we could hold these. Let's say there were some fours, like the SB4s were a really good example. Right, we can hold these for a year and maybe we'll earn an extra £100 on them. But as a business model, you can't hold stuff to earn £100.
Unless you've got a lot of money you're investing in that sort of thing. You need like maybe, I don't know how much, like would 10 pairs be worth it? It depends how much you make. But
and because I'm more of like the geeky nerdy one, the collector kind of thing. I was like, we should just hold them forever. Like we should just hold them and like they could be ours. And then maybe we'll sell them one day. So like the business model didn't work mainly because you've got your head on right and I'm compulsive.
Bro, you need like, I think having that yin and yang is important, because I think especially in a market that is really, really volatile, like especially at the time that you guys came in, the market was so volatile. Like we were seeing such massive like swings, right? And what you said, I've said this to, because I work quite closely with some resale shops, Crep Collection Club being one of them. I've said this to the owner of Crep Collection Club, Jamal, like so many times, and he's like, well, bro, just hold on to the shoe. Like, and I'm like, bro, I'm not holding on to the shoe to make an extra £30. Just buy the shoe, man. Just like, I don't have time for it. Like, literally, just buy the shoe, man. And he's like, if you hold on to the shoe, you don't know. And the truth is, there are certain shoes that you're like, I probably should have held on to that a little bit longer. But very, very rarely do I look back. And this is something that I don't do, and I'm glad I don't do it. Very, very rarely will I look back at a shoe that I owned and see what the price is currently. Very rarely. Very, very rarely, because I don't need that stress. I try not live. I don't want to live in the past. I just want to move on. Like, because obviously, if I sold it and I sold it at a good price, I'm happy with the price. Let's leave it at that, man. But that's definitely a vibe, guys. Definitely a vibe. I'm gonna ask you both a question that I really like. I have to apologize because I'm gonna say it. And you're probably not gonna like it. If your house was on fire, right, and you can only grab one pair of shoes, like, What were you taking, man? What are you taking?
Is this from my collection or is this just in general?
Yeah,
from my collection. Yeah.
It has to be from your collection.
If the imaginary house was on fire, that was full of 85 Jordan 1s.
I'll just magic.
Which pair are you grabbing?
Yeah. Right.
Right, you go.
Yeah. It'll be my Ultra Boost. It'll be my Ultra Boost, the chalk pair. That's like, yeah. So that's probably the pair that got me into it all, and I got them, and yeah, I'll be taking them. I'll be comfy. I'll be happy. That's all I need. You know.
Nice.
Yeah, and a good little bit of sentiment as well. It being the original pair, we like that, man. We like that. Ultra Boost needs some love, man. We love that. What you said?
Mine. So I got two answers to this. One of them's real life context, right? It's my missus' birthday next week, and she
Shout out to the missus.
Yeah, okay. So my girlfriend's birthday next week, right? And she's wanted some camp. You know those big chunky campuses that have come out.
Yeah.
The green ones. So I've got her. She knows I've got them, so this isn't a surprise. I'd have to go grab them. Otherwise, it doesn't matter about the house. Like they'd need to survive. It doesn't matter about anything else in my house. It's the birthday present, right?
Yeah.
So that's the current contextual answer.
Okay.
Fair enough.
The second, the real answer, like it'd be so I've got the Jordan 1. It's like the Day of the Dead Jordan 1s. I can't remember how they say it in like the so like the pink and yellow. They're not actually that like grailed or anything like that. They're not that expensive. I checked the StockX the other day just to see, and they're quite like they're sitting at like £100. So yeah, they're like pink, yellow. But my brother got them for me for Christmas when we lived together. We used to rent a flat together, and he's a massive sneakerhead as well. Bro, you'll have met him. He's our cameraman actually when we go out and about.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, man. Yeah, he's the guy still.
Yeah, he is. Shout out to Josh. Big up
Josh.
Yeah, so we 1 year, like we were kind of like we were just broke living in this flat, and it was like the flat was falling to bits. And then 1 year for Christmas, we were like, should we just get each other like an expensive pair of shoes? So I got him some all black Supreme Air Force Ones. Now it was when they like first came out, so, like people weren't hating on them yet.
So the resale was mad. Yeah, the resale was mad as well. The resale was mad.
Jordan 1s for ages. And he got me them, and they're probably out of my whole collection, like my favorite pair of all. Just because, like, it reminds me of a time as well, which is really nice. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. I love that. That's really cool. That's really cool. What about like if you were just running out the house and like, you're not thinking about a fit?
Run it.
Yeah. If you're just running out the house, you're not thinking about a fit, you're not thinking about how you look, you're just like maybe going to grab, go to the corner shop or blah, blah, blah. Like what shoes like are normally by your door?
Ooh, at the minute, I've got like a bit of a beta rotation.
Okay.
Like,
come on,
so
I love that.
Like, and it's mainly stuff I've got used. Like, so I've got some Yeezy 500s. Like the Onyx, they're good just to throw on, especially with it just being winter. They feel yeah, they feel like a bit of a boot. They're quite snug, so I like throwing them on sometimes.
They're chunky as well, man. They feel winterized. They feel like they'll protect you. Yeah, no, you're right.
Exactly. The other pair I've got that I'll just throw on. Ooh, my I've got some Nike Overbreaks.
Overbreaks.
Yeah, look them up.
I should know.
So they're in the pollen dust colorway. So it's like yellow. It's a massive sole, about that thick.
I saw someone wearing them,
and they're like proper. I don't know how to describe it. It's a bit like a Salehi.
Yeah. So, it looks like the Salehi Bemry, the shoe that's about to come out.
The Junipers, yeah, the Crocs.
It looks like literally the Junipers. It looks like the Croc Junipers. Yeah. Perfect.
So I got them.
Yeah, these are vibes.
I got them from size maybe 3 years ago. but I don't really lace them up. They're kind of open, so I just jump in them like if I'm heading out somewhere quick.
Yeah.
Other than that, I unashamedly live in Crocs in the house.
Oh.
Same here.
I got them.
Crocs or the I got the foams as well, but yeah, the Crocs get a lot of love.
Man.
What are you on? What are you wearing out?
So it's a mixture of
Damn,
both.
bro, what are you saying?
So if I'm running to the car, it's the Matalan slides, right? so it's probably on the same level. It's probably on the same level as like No Fear and Lonsdale and all that as a brand, right? But we're talking Matalan now.
Bro, we run a sneaker podcast.
The Matalan slides.
Yeah, buddy.
£10 or whatever they were, right? So I'm
Here's
chucking
where
them.
it all comes out, lads. We love it.
Yeah, they're coming straight on. But if I'm walking the dog, it'll be the Air Max 95s, 100%. The all black pair. The bubbles are broke. The squeaking. Both shoes are squeaking now. The back of them, I've got like the back of them. When it's like you've been like stretching your foot to get in and stuff like that. So yeah, they're just amazing, man. They're just tanks. It's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the 95s, because I remember at Kicks and Coffee, you were wearing a really nice pair of 95s as well. I don't know, were they like the great pair? What were they?
Yeah, so the stadium.
Is that what they
green.
were?
Yeah. It's a funny one because I love the colour blocking of the 95. Like when you got that OG sort of colour.
We got these
really nice.
We're a big 95 fan. We've got the neons always sitting on the shelf up there. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I'm not stressed.
Yeah, so the 95s, the colour blocking is amazing. With that pair though, the leather, aren't they, right? And a lot of that sort of with that 95, it's kind of a bit of nubuck and all of that. It's not normally like a proper leather material, but man, I love
You've got like driving shoes though, don't you? What is it, Air Max 90s that you have like in the car?
Oh yeah, and I got some. No, I don't have them in the car, but they're like if it's not raining and I'm walking the dog, I'll be wearing them.
What's the colourway? They're like a Tiffany.
Oh mate, I can't. The downstairs. I should have brought them up, Rick. But yeah, I don't know what they are. I didn't know what they were when I bought them on eBay, but I looked them up. They're from 2018. And they're kind of cool, I guess.
Yeah,
they're nice. I don't know the colour.
I'm here for it. Yeah, man. The Matalan slides are wild, but you know what? Like when it comes, I mean, it's a slide at the end of the day.
Yeah,
it's a slide at the end of the day, man. You get me? I'm saying like there are more important things to spend your money on, so I get you. You. Like, if I was to ask you, like, and feel free to sort of take as much time as you need with this, what the greatest shoe is in your collection, what would you say?
Bear Brick's gone.
What's the greatest in mine? You know what? Like, I've got the Jordan 4 Breads, the newest one, and I think they're incredible. Very
good shoe. Very good shoe.
On them. Like, I know people were like, oh, like people comparing them to older versions, stuff like that. But like, I was never able to get any of those older versions. I had no chance, right? And it comes back to that. Like now, I work full time. Yeah, I've got money to buy silly things. Yeah, man, exactly. Like
worn as well. Well worn, lads.
But yeah, man, that's the drill.
But yeah, I'm with you, bro.
Incredible, and I think the whole reimagined line brings me so much joy because I'm 24 years old. Like I never got to experience any of this history behind Jordan, behind even just the basketball side of things. I live in Yorkshire, right? So when we did a whole episode on these shoes, and we were researching about like when they were worn, like the shot that was taken, things like that, the buzzer when he was wearing them, this, that, and the other. And I think they're absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I think they might have taken us by surprise on that episode a little bit because when Nike mess about with the materials on like reimagined shoes and stuff, sometimes it's a bit controversial. We've seen that with the Royal, but with the Royal ones.
Oh, the Royal awful.
Yeah, them bread fours are crazy.
Yeah,
man.
I like the reimagine line, but like get rid of the royals.
Yeah,
Yeah, those royal ones were definitely a miss, but I think like I'm completely with you on this shoe. Like I'm completely with you on this shoe. I think this when it's all said and done, when they start looking as time goes on, I think this will supersede the Durabug. Obviously, any historian, in terms of obviously what you're talking about in regards to that shot, I think it was against the Cavs or something like that, and Craig Elo or whoever it was, I can't remember. But if memory serves me, but it's the colorway. It's not the material. In my opinion, it's the colorway. The colorway is the bread colorway. That's the iconic colorway. And whatever shoe you put it on, it's gonna be the most iconic colorway. But the material takes this shoe to a whole nother level. Plus the tooling of the shoe, which makes it like a million times more comfortable to wear. This is a shoe you can wear. Unlike a lot of Jordan 4s from back in the day where they were uncomfortable. You get me? This is actually a shoe made for function. And yeah, I'm big on the Jordan 4 in this new tooling. Like that's the reason why like I've got the SB4s because they're the ones that, in my opinion, started it off in terms of making Jordan 4s wearable again, and the breads just like made it sick, man. So yeah, I'm definitely with you on that.
I think for me, like the greatest shoes for me, and I think you'll probably be the same, mate, based on the conversations we have. It's pairs with a story behind them. So one of my favourite pairs, which I don't have in my collection, is the Sandy Bodecker dunks, the eBay dunks. You know, the ones that have the translucent bit.
The split. Between. Yeah. I actually had a pair of those. Yeah.
Yeah, I keep trying to pull the trigger on them and then just... Because I know I won't wear them. Like, I just want them to be the collector's item.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah.
I think they are absolutely incredible. Like, and when you look into Sandy... I think it's Bodecker. I think that's how you say his last name. When you look into his impact... and things like that. I think he's passed away now, hasn't he?
I think so.
You look into his impact in terms of Nike SB and things like that, and that shoe means something. And people created it for him and for his son as well. Like, to me, it was just like, it's not just a shoe, it's a story.
Yeah.
Same with like the Lost and Founds, same with a few other pairs. And like, I know we've got a lot of recency bias, right? Like we could only start buying these shoes about 2 or 3 years ago. But for me, like my favourite pairs are the shoes that have a story to them.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Completely with you, lads. Like, I'm completely with you. And regardless of when the shoe came out or whatever, like, I mean, greatness is greatness. And I think the shoes that you've alluded to are all timeless in that regard. They've all got amazing stories behind them. More and more, and I'm sure you find this when you're doing your podcast, the currency that sort of is the most important, the most valuable in sneakers are these stories. That's what I'm finding. I'm finding that the things, the value is derived from the stories that surround the shoes, right? Yeah. We just talked about it, if it wasn't that shot that wins them that championship, then does the Jordan 4 become as iconic as it is now?
Yeah, exactly.
Sort of thing. Like, I'm saying, if you don't have that whole thing about the whole band colorway originally with regards to the airship and then ultimately the ones and them having to pay that fine, like I'm saying, all of those things are sick.
Now we reviewed the Awake New York airships. We went down that rabbit hole the other day, and that as a story like is incredible. It's so cool.
Yeah.
No, it's very, very important, man. And I feel like I suppose obviously different generations will place different importance on certain things, but I think it's important that we remember what these kicks meant. A lot of people boil kicks down to just resale value nowadays, so it's important we put some respect in it. And regardless, they will have resale value, and some have a higher resale value than others, but ultimately That's not the reason they were created. They were created for a reason, and they mark a period in time, especially these Jordans and a lot of these like Air Maxes as well. They mark a period in time that's really, really sick.
Listening to this episode of Kicks Chronicles, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, rate, review, and all that good stuff. And remember, full video version is available on YouTube, audio versions available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts.